Hello and welcome to Garden Invaders in my hometown of Southampton. We're here to bring some style to a very desperate garden. So here we are, right on the south coast, lovely sunshine, but we're here to rescue a nightmare garden and change it into a beautiful one all in a day.
That's the idea. I've done a made-to-measure design that should meet the needs of the garden owners. We've got the guys here, plenty of them.
You seem to have got lots and lots of them.
Yeah,
mate.
and we've got the materials, and there's some plants, but there's a catch. They've got to answer Charlie's questions to win all the plants. How are we going to get all this lot into the small garden?
I don't know, but if they keep running around like that, they can be very dizzy. Oi guys, the garden's this way! Today we're invading the garden of Joe and Rodrigo de Serrano. Rodrigo has moved to the UK all the way from El Salvador. For the love of his life, Joe. Work and study dominate this young couple's life, and hence their garden has been somewhat neglected. Let's see what Garden Invaders can do for them. Now someone's a bit of a keen gardener, I have to say. We've got some lovely plants here.
That would be me. I'm the keen gardener. He likes to buy the plants. He likes to look at them and say, oh, that's really pretty, and then bring them back here and then just leave them until I do something with them.
Oh.
I like to appreciate the plants, but we moved to this house 6 months ago, and it's been a bit difficult to get time because we both have full-time job, and I'm studying a master's degree.
So what would you sort of like from your garden?
I'd like a jungle.
Why
give
a
it more
jungle?
life.
Where did that come from then?
Well, I'm from El Salvador, so I like to have a bit of a tropical theme in the garden to see a little bit of El Salvador here.
So there's lots of scope there for you, Joe. What are you going to do, mate?
No, I love these little terrace houses though. They're lovely little spaces, these, brick walled sort of yards. So I think we've got to keep it very simple here. Create that sort of outdoor room, flexible space. You can come out here, study, invite people around, bit of gardening. No, it's an exciting little project. But you've started, boundaries are good. Lots of plants growing up there already. So, no, I'm feeling quite confident we can make this a lot better.
So what would you not like to see?
I think I'm open to anything.
That's nice, easier and easier.
Design a dream brief.
Anything's got to be better than pure concrete.
Yeah. So who's doing the questions and who's...
Joe's going to be doing the questions, and I'm going to be doing the garden.
All right, so you're ready for this? You're going to be good?
Hopefully so.
If we want a jungle effect, you've got quite a few plants to win.
Yeah, you've got to win the plants.
Down the road,
Okay.
yeah.
Good luck. Okay, Rodrigo, here we go.
We're going to see the plants, huh?
That's right, yeah. So it's quite simple,
Yes.
in planned form, but we're going to have a deck over there in the corner, quite a generous deck. Yeah, so that's going to be the main seating area. And then around that wall and this wall, we're going to have a raised planter. And then we're going to deal with this concrete by dressing it with some gravel and then some big pebbles and stuff as well to help break it up a little bit. So we're keeping it simple, but I think it's going to work well.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Yeah, very good.
You like it?
Yeah, I like the idea.
Great. Cheers, Kevin. There's your Invader for a Day t-shirt. Look at that. Perfect fit.
Invader for the day.
Right, so put it on, get stuck in, okay?
Okay.
Let's get some of these plants out of the way.
Perfect. Thank you.
So this is nice of your neighbour to let us use the garden. Look at those apples. I bet they get people scrumping them.
I bet they do.
Really nice. Now we've got some really nice plants as well. This is the first group and they're very architectural. That means they're really bold. We're working well with the jungle theme.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
And then we got some textured plants here. So it's a bit of colour, a few flowers, but really just for the different textures, soft leaves and spiky and glossy. So lots of contrast. And we're trying to keep really green to go with this jungle theme. So again, we've got some ferns here and some lower growing jungly plants.
Nice. We like that too.
And then the last group are these lovely climbers to cover up all the walls you've got there. And then we've got some finishing touches over there, to make sure that you can use the garden well into the evening.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be really nice.
But that's Rodrigo that's got to answer that question.
That's scary.
So as I said, really architectural, these plants. So when I say architectural, they're really big and wow in a garden. So we've got Trachycarpus fortunei, and it's one of the hardier palms in this country. And then this is Fatsier Japonica. Now, most people used to think it wasn't hardy because it's got these big jungly leaves. Doesn't like being in a really cold situation or windy, but in your garden it's going to be great. And then we've got a phormium. There's lots of different phormiums. This one's called Cream Delight, and it's got that greeny striped leaf with the yellow cream colour going up. And it's much more arching than some of them. The leaves come up and over. So it will go with the jungle theme. And here is your first question.
Nervous now.
Don't be. What term describes plants that are native to the hot, humid region close to the equator? Are they rock plants, tropical plants, or alpine plants?
Well, they're definitely not alpine plants because they come from mountainous regions like the Alps. Rock plants, again, definitely not. So I think it's got to be tropical.
You're pretty sure of that, aren't you?
I'm totally sure of this.
Well, you're very correct. Well done. Well done. Joe, do you want to come and get these plants, mate? Hey, speedy man. Well done. I think it might need a few trips, mate.
Joe's rocket's coming on really nicely. It's nice having this little greenhouse at the end of the garden to grow plants on as well. But this is the area that we're trying to deal with today. It is a yard. It's got a concrete floor, brick walls all the way around. So we're going to keep it really simple because it's very small, this space. We have a deck at the back here, quite a generous deck, and we're going to stain it a nice sort of colonial colour to go in with a sort of tropical theme in this garden. All the climbers we're going to keep because they're really nice. We put some aside and we're going to put them back later. Now over here, we're going to move the water butt from over there over to here. And it's going to catch the rainwater from here and they're going to be able to water all the plants. But the thing is, all the plants are in containers. So what we're going to do is build a really big raised bed that's going to go along this wall and then dogleg back along that wall. And it's going to be generous depth of planting so that all the pots that Joe's got here, she's going to be able to put the plants in there and all the stuff that she wins as well. Because otherwise, there's just nowhere really to plant and to really get some plants that are going to get big and tall in here. That's the problem. And then we've got the issue of this surface, this concrete surface. It's really ugly, basically, but we're not going to start ripping up and we're not going to start paving. We've only got one day to do this in. So what we're going to do is we're going to gravel over it, add a bit of texture, keep it nice and light, and maybe use a few boulders to break it up a bit. But there's a lot of work to be done. It's a small space. There's a logistical problem, so I'm going to have to be the big boss around here. Come on, guys. Got to get on with it. A lot of work to do.
Joe, how did you meet Rodrigo?
Well, I was on my year abroad from university in Latin America because I studied Latin American Development Studies at the University of Portsmouth. So we got to go off for a year.
Nice.
And, yeah, very nice. So I was working with on earthquake reconstruction projects out there in El Salvador. And so we met at a beach called San Diego.
Oh, very romantic.
Yeah.
And was it love at first sight? Or?
I think so.
Now, let me tell you a bit about these plants. There's a mixture of shrubs and herbaceous here. One of my favourite herbaceous plants is this one here. It's Jersey Asculifolia, and this one has a very bronze foliage to it when it first grows. But I like it because of the texture of the leaves. It sort of almost looks rough and sort of crepe paperish. And then this is a lovely, robust variegated plant. This is euonymus, and it's called Blondie. And it's good in sort of corridors where it's a bit shady, where it can be quite windy and plants don't establish very well. And then we've got Potentilla. So quite pretty, and those flower all the way through the summer. Start flowering sort of mid-spring, right the way through to the autumn. Are you ready?
No.
I'm sure you are. I've got all my confidence in you now. Which group of primitive, non-flowering plants are popularly grown for their dense foliage and are great for really shady parts of the garden that are damp? Is it ferns, clematis, or cordylines?
Well, I know my clematis likes its really sunny spot by the trellis, so it's definitely not that one. Cordylines are spiky things, and I think they like the sun as well. And the things you always see in the woodland, underneath all the trees in the shady place, are the ferns. So.
You've been doing your homework, haven't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, I can see that we're going to be having to move out because there won't be enough room for all the plants you're winning.
It's okay, I'll chuck my husband down.
Okay, right, go on, bring the frame in now. Up and over. Big moment in any garden, this. Build it outside, because there's not enough space inside. And then just lift it over the fence. Nice one, excellent. I'm sure it's heavy, I've got a bad finger, of course. That's it. And now drop it down, straight on the concrete. And then, Tom, you're gonna have to get, all fingers. Yeah, nice one. Now we're going straight on top of the concrete here because the concrete's nice and level and it's solid. We don't want to start putting posts into the concrete. And Nick, you made this frame outside, but what if you didn't have nice level concrete like we did? What would you do?
Just chop some wooden blocks.
Right.
Some offcuts.
Yeah.
Varying thicknesses.
Yeah.
And then we can just pack it level.
Right, put a level on top.
Yep.
And then just pack it up at each corner.
Start on the high point.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, it's gone really well. And over here is a sample of the colour we're going to stain it. Because natural wood's beautiful, of course, but it does go a bit grey. And this way we're going to keep a colour in the garden and keep it nice and light. And it's going to go with that sort of colonial, tropical theme. So we've got that stuff, and also you slap it on, look at that. Whole tin just waiting to go on. You slap it on and it helps preserve the timber as well. You get a much longer life. But you just stain, not a paint. Because the paint you have to keep repainting, it'll peel off. But a stain will soak into the wood and it's much easier to reapply like a good makeup.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for just over 2 years.
Right, and what was the wedding like? Was it over here or?
No, it was in El Salvador. We were on a coffee plantation up amongst the volcanoes of El Salvador.
God, fantastic. That must have been unusual.
It was just the two of us and 2 witnesses, one of whom looked like Che Guevara, which was quite funny. And it was really cheap because it was just the two of us. It was like $750 all in.
Something a bit different then.
Definitely.
Right, let me tell you about these plants. We've got Hosta, Plantagineer, Grandiflora. And they actually get to about 1 metre high and the leaves get very big, so really jungly looking. And then we've got a fern here. This one's known as the royal fern, Osmunda regalis, and that again gets to about 1 metre high. And then lastly, a grass. This one's Pensetum. It is hardy, but it doesn't like a really open, cold position. So, third question for Mrs. Goody Two Shoes here. Done our homework. What do you call the art of pruning where a shrub or a tree is cut into an exotic shape? Is it called crowning, pollarding, or topiary?
Well, I've never heard of crowning or pollarding, and my mum will probably kill me for not knowing what they are. And I definitely know that topiary is cutting into funny shapes.
You're right, girl. Now, I'll just reiterate what crowning is. Crowning is where you lift the crown of the tree up, so it's higher up. Pollarding is when you hack it right back and it reshoots out.
Right, now I know, I'll never forget.
Right, well, you can rest your brain because of all this thinking. I'm going to go and see how the garden's going. Do you want to test your gardening know-how? How about going onto the Invaders website? There's lots of quiz questions there and you could win some gardening treats. Rodrigo, your lady knows her stuff. Look at these great glasses.
Great.
They're really good, aren't they?
Yeah, I like this grass, yeah.
So apart from doing painting, which if you've renovated the house you probably know lots about, what else have you been doing?
Well, I've been helping the guys moving the wood, loading the wood, loading the decking, so it's been a busy morning.
I think I'm going to have a word with Mr. Swift and get you onto gardening duties because...
Well, we're going to move to gardening later.
Oh, all right then. Talking of Mr. Swift, I see you're working hard.
Yeah.
You're watching they don't blow away,
Well,
are
so
you?
you've got to hand the right, there's lots of different sizes, you see.
Technical.
Technical stuff, you've got to get the right one to the right people.
Now, I normally find that this is a bit of a nightmare in a small space with lots of people.
No, exactly. Well, that's why Rodrigo's over there painting and we're like concentrating on this over here. But this isn't a garden. The gardening comes later, you see. This is an installation.
So you're running this like a military operation then?
Absolutely, you know me, Charlie.
Yeah.
That's right, all under control.
I'll just call you Captain Mannering.
Yeah,
So they're well trained, are they?
They are very well trained.
Attention! Look at that.
That's impressive, they are well trained.
You must be mean,
You set me up.
Well, it's certainly payback for Rodrigo. He's having to do lots of work in the garden today.
It's good for him.
He'll be inspired. Joe's teaching him lots. And it's changed, but I can't tell you too much. It looks slightly more inspired than it did. Now, These are all climbers, the last group of plants. And we've got a couple of different plants that you don't see very often. We've got the Hedra, which is either a shrub or a climbing shrub. And it's a funny plant because it's a cross between a Fatsia and an ivy. Not 100% hardy, but in your situation it's going to be fine, and it's evergreen, so it's going to have a lot of interest there. And then we've also got a variegated ivy. It's Hedra Canariensis. Not so good at climbing as some ivies. You might need to tie it in, but it's really good because you can train it as like a swag. You can make it do things like that, which is quite fun.
Pretty.
And then the last one, I don't know the plant very well. It's Biladiera. It likes a neutral to an acid soil during the winter. Now, the last question for those great climbers is a horticultural one. Now, do you know this plant here?
It's a hydrangea.
Yeah, and where do you always see hydrangeas?
Definitely in your granny's garden.
Yeah, I don't know why. They must have been really popular in like the 30s and 40s, so you always see them in Granny's garden. Now, what I want you to tell me is you get 2 coloured flowers from a hydrangea, depending on the soil it's on. Now, if it's on an acid soil, what colour flower do you think you get?
This is a tough question. You just said that those ones over there which have purple berries and they're on an acidy soil. So given that you said that, my thoughts would be to say acid, but I'm not sure. Can you give me a hint?
So the blue's acid, you're saying?
Yes.
This is the first time I've seen you worried today.
Do I need to be worried?
No, because you got it right. Acid soil, you get the blue, rich blue colour, which, of course, acid soil is a bit more unusual in this country. That's why everyone wants it. Well, that is you not quite finished. We've got a little project, but it's outside the front of the house. Come with me.
The only way to get plants into a garden like this is to grow everything in containers. So what we've actually done here is build, well, one of the biggest containers in the world. And rather than just buying them off the peg, they cost a lot of money if you buy these. We've built it in situ, and we've used these wooden blocks that are fantastic. They sort of stack together and they make it really solid. You know, we're going to backfill the whole thing with soil. And what we've used, we haven't used glue or anything, but plugs like this. And these plastic plugs just stick down into them. Go on, Nick, let's have a quick demo. So they get hammered down in, and then these blocks just go on the top, and they stack up like that. So you get on a really, really big planter. So we're going to backfill it with soil, but before we do that, we're putting this landscape fabric in. So this is going to stop the soil seeping through the gaps and sort of seeping underneath. So it's going to hold all the topsoil in. Topsoil's coming in a bit later. And then to neatly finish it off, we're going to have this lovely top rail along the top here, which is looking good, because otherwise you see all the holes on the top. But we don't want a wooden look. So what we're going for is a very contemporary, stylish look. And we're using some of this stainless steel sheeting. Fantastic to face the front of that. Oh, perfect fit. To face the front of it. And no, it's not green. What you do, this is a protective layer. And when it's all done, we're going to peel that off. It's stainless steel, so that's going to bounce the light around, give a very contemporary edge to this whole garden with the deck and this huge planter. It's going to look fantastic and very good value for money, something we all like.
Do you recognise these?
Yep, they're out in my garden.
They are Phoenix Canariensis, which got really sharp spines, so be careful moving around them. Very nice, healthy plants. We want to sort of zuzz up the pots slightly, so we've got various colours here. Off you go. So Southampton's nice, isn't it? All this sunshine.
Beautiful.
Tide's not coming into here though.
No, well, you never know your luck, but it's just nice to take 5 minutes out of that garden. It's so claustrophobic in there, it's tiny.
Been working so hard, haven't you?
You know me, yeah. Now listen, Charlie, look, I've got this planter here, okay? Traditional in style, yeah? They want something a bit more contemporary. It's on the back of the van, yeah? And we've got some tread plate over there, nice aluminium stuff. But I don't like these balls on the corner, they look a bit too fancy.
Finials, love.
Yeah, all right, finials, whatever, okay. And you can have some plants, okay? Yeah?
Can I choose?
No, you get all the stuff I leave over. See you later. Because there's no bare soil areas in this garden, everything's got to be grown into containers, but there are a few simple tips that you've got to remember. Now, first of all, you've got to make sure you've got drainage holes in there, otherwise water goes in and it doesn't come out. The plant gets waterlogged and it'll keel over and die. So I've drilled some holes in the bottom so water can escape. Now, also to help with drainage, we're going to cover those holes with some gravel, because otherwise soil will get a bit bunged up and it can get compacted, and again, the water can't escape anywhere. Now, this is a great plant for a hosta. It sort of complements the pot and the plant together. Think about what pot you're going to use and what plant you're going to use, and make sure that they go together well. You're going to get a designed look that way. And hostas love to be in pots, and they're very long-lived. Now, the roots there, you can see, very nice. Just tease them out a little bit, not too much. Okay, and that can go in there. Now, I'm going to put that in there and then get the compost and bring the level up. Now, I'm just going to make sure that the soil is nicely compacted in there. Yeah, and that's just right. Now leave it a little bit short of the top of the rim, maybe an inch or two, so that when you water, it's going to soak in rather than pour out the edges. And then also, just to finish it off, I'm going to use this gravel. Now that looks great, so it's a decorative mulch, but at the same time, with a pot like a hosta, it's going to hopefully keep all the slugs and snails off it too. And there you go. Water regularly and feed regularly. That's going to look pretty good.
Well, they've certainly been given the modern look, haven't they?
Definitely silver.
I like that. Do you like that?
I like that. very
That's
much
lucky, because they're still yours. I'm not taking them home. So you can pop in the house, no looking out the kitchen window, all right? And no talking to Rodrigo.
So. I won't. Definitely not.
Off you go then.
Oh, it's very nice, Charlie. Like it, like it.
Good.
Stylish. Nice.
And my plants? You've planted them all, haven't you?
Yeah, I completely forgot, you know.
I'm not talking to you
Sorry.
anymore, and I've saved you a present.
Present for me.
Look, I thought you might need them.
Thanks very much.
Rodrigo, it's your turn to answer a gardening
Big
question.
moment.
Yes, and it's for these nice light lights. We've got a little brazier there that's going to keep you nice and warm. So you can use
sounds good.
the garden right into the evening time. And you like sitting out in the
Yeah,
garden,
of
don't
course.
you?
Yeah. I like the idea.
Now, I'm not known very well as being very delicate, so I'm not sort of a medical surgeon, but tree surgeon. I do a bit of tree
Yes.
work. Now, if you were pruning or cutting back a tree with a
Yes.
branch that was quite big, about 2 inches, a bit
Yes.
like that bit that's stuck out there,
That one?
dead bit,
Yes.
which one of these utensils would you use?
I think I would choose this one.
Why is that then?
Yeah. Well, it looks stronger and it looks as if, I don't know, I think it's the best to cut something as thick as this tree.
You'll be right. Well done, they're called
Am I?
loppers. You're right.
Oh, yeah, really?
So,
Oh, God.
you got this and you got the seats,
The seats too and the
lights.
lights, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Right, now that's you finished. You can pop in the house,
Oh, God.
have a cup of coffee, because being from South America, I bet that's
yeah,
all
I
you
do.
drink.
Yeah, proper coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't talk to her though. So off you go.
Thank you.
To create a lush tropical feel in a garden, we're looking for evergreen plants, and a lot of them with big leaves. So something like this ivy is perfect. It's self-clinging, it'll cover this wall in no time. And it's got this lovely variegated edge, so it'll brighten up a dark, shady corner. It's a great plant, love ivies. They're downtrodden, but I like them. And here's another good one. This is Fatsier Japonica, which is a mock castor oil plant. Again, a big, glossy leaf. Look at that, it's fantastic. So that'll bounce the light around. And it's got big leaves because it's going to try and get as much light as possible into its system. Now, if you like both of those plants, you're going to love this one, because this is one of my all-time favourites. This is Hedra Canariensis. And actually what it is a cross between the Fatsia and the ivy. So it's a climbing form of Fatsia. And look at the size of that leaf. It's brilliant. And it's just going to go up and up and up. The thing is, it's not self-clinging, so we're going to have to fix it to the wall, put some wires onto the wall and attach it onto that. But you don't see it in that many garden centres, but if you do, buy it.
Joe, your garden this morning, what was it like?
It was pure concrete with a few plants here and there, but looked rather disjointed.
Do you want to open your eyes then?
No way! Oh my God!
All this planting space. So Rodrigo can buy you even more plants.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This is out of this world. I never dreamed of it at all being like this. This is fantastic. Just gobsmacked.
It's a nice area to
Hey,
sit.
no?
Yeah, lovely. Really.
Have you seen it?
So you won the prize.
Yeah, I won it, yeah. Yeah, all the contrast with the pebbles and the gravel and the different colors, the green, silver, it's great.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
it lightens it all up.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
actually
absolutely.
quite a shady garden until the late afternoon it gets quite a lot of sun. Well, before you had nowhere to put any plants, now you've got a really good depth of soil. That's a huge planter, and those plants are going to grow so quickly because you won them all. Good, and it's going to give a really jungly effect, very quickly, I'd say.
So how do you feel having it all finished and complete in one day?
I think it's amazing. I never dreamed you could do this in one day. Never in my wildest dreams.
So you two wouldn't have got round to it then?
Definitely not. Maybe in about 5 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Fab garden, and I've got this feeling Rodrigo is going to spend all his time out there now.
Yeah, that gravel really lightened up. Huge transformation, don't you think?
Yeah, and it made it look much bigger with the light
did.
colour, didn't
And I
it?
thought the guys today, military precision, pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, but they seem to have lost it towards the end of the day. Look at the state of them.
Yeah, but I've got someone to sort them out. Sergeant Major Mike, sort them out.
Right, you horrible lot. Face your front. By the front. Double march.